yes, we make good money in a good market. We will make amazing money in a bad market. That's just the nature of the product that we have.
Let's say Taqim didn't exist. What's the value of rental contracts that would be in trouble right now? In other words, how much is the value of the rental contracts that you have protected so far?
We have onboarded 50,000 units, which is about
50,000 units.
in 7 months, 50,000 units, which is about $1.1 billion worth of annual rent. We've onboarded them to our platform. So they have the ability to take the rent protection. Landlords see the benefit of it. Tenants see the benefit of it. So that side of it's great.
Great to be. Anyone that has property here in Dubai should come to this guy. Rakesh, how are you, my man?
I'm good. I'm good.
How's everything?
Yeah, super busy, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's a super exciting time to be doing what we're doing in this industry right now.
Is it? Because I see a smile on your face,
Yeah.
but people, when they read the stuff you write on LinkedIn, they're not smiling so much.
I like to think that I'm incredibly optimistic about being pessimistic.
Incredibly optimistic about being pessimistic. You heard
Yeah.
it from him.
Yeah. I'm not naturally a bear. Being that I'm not a Debbie Downer. I don't like to
Yeah.
just bring. If you ask anyone who really knows me and has known me for years, if you ask my co-founder, I'm like the ultimate optimist with everything. Delusional optimist, I would say. But the data is the data, and you can't refute that. Yes, I have my biases about the market. Our product is for the certain. Yes, we make good money in a good market. We will make amazing money in a bad market. That's just the nature of the product that we have.
So basically, it's kind of like your business model is just well-rounded in the sense that
we're not just recession-proof. We're recession-enhanced.
Yeah.
But a lot of our customers are using our product to make a lot of money, even more money now than in a good market. So
okay. So for those who don't know, first of all, I have to clarify. Did you purposely pick the name Taqim as the Arabic word of Taqim?
yes.
Or was it by mistake? Or
No. 100% it was. So
okay.
My original concept of creating this company was
Okay.
I had just come back to Dubai. My wife was renting here. We had a landlord disappear on us for our security deposit. I wasn't planning on doing anything for a while, but that frustration and that little bit of revenge and the fact that I wanted to solve a real world problem for real people led to me creating the company.
Yeah.
The initial idea was a digital rental reference system. Same as what you have in the UK, same as what you have in the US. If you want to rent a place, you need references from previous landlords.
Right.
The issue that I had was that you're about to sign the most probably important contract for the 12 months. It's your biggest expense and it's a 12-month contract. Now, as both a tenant and a landlord, you don't know anything else about the other person without that rental reference.
Right.
So that was the original idea about the company, and the Arabic word taqiyam means to evaluate or rate.
Yes.
However, if you're Westerner like me, it's not so easy to get the sound. So we made it Taqim.
Taqim. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good. I mean, I read it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he took it from the Arabic word Taqim.
Yeah.
But let's get straight into the business and straight into the data that you've been talking about so long. So you've been warning about layoffs long before the data proved that it was the case.
We had a hypothesis. We tested out that hypothesis. We built an algorithm that basically formulated that and showed that that's what was going to happen.
How?
By looking at the macroeconomic indicators. So I'm a macro guy. We will look at...
You are the only macro guy I know in Dubai, and that's why I love hanging out with you, because nobody speaks the language that you do.
The reason I am a macro guy, though, is because every time we look at a default spike or something happening in the local economy, it's always been a macro event, whether it's been global financial crisis, 2008, 2014, the oil price halving overnight, and then 2020 COVID. So we will always look at macro indicators to evaluate our risk in the micro market. We are having a few micro issues come into the market now, being supply, but mostly it's macro issues right now. So we looked at those key macro indicators, realized what they were doing on a global scale, knew that Dubai wasn't immune to it, and basically then started to predict that happening. And this was before the whole AI story really took off. We knew it from a automation technology perspective that job losses were going to happen. AI has made that exponential.
Yeah. But that's the thing. How did you pick up that, let's say, that trend? Because there must have been something, since you mentioned even before AI, there must have been something that triggered your interest and your curiosity, and you're like, oh, listen, I need to really dig deep.
So the interest originally became, how is technology going to affect us as humans? When we started looking into that, then we started looking into the fact that we're already seeing smaller issue layoffs with tech starting to come into the workforce and automation, robotics and all that starting to happen. The AI story has totally changed that completely. And we haven't even seen an iota of it happening yet. Even with the big layoffs we've seen this year, it's just going to get more and more.
Tip of the iceberg.
It's just literally the tip of the iceberg.
Wow.
Right now.
Yeah, and like the advancement is like exponential in technology, so it's just going to get more sophisticated, and it will pretty much replace everything.
It will replace humans to a certain extent. We've already seen that in the figure. So in a company where there's 5 employees, there's 1 leader and maybe 4 juniors, AI has basically replaced the 4 juniors. It's now the manager or the senior using AI tool to do the exact same job more efficiently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that 1 senior now has a lot more responsibility, but he has the tools to handle that.
Yeah.
Whether he's getting paid more or not, I don't know. That'll be an issue as well. So that's what we started to see maybe 18, 24 months ago. We started warning our clients about that happening. We got laughed out of some rooms. Which is okay.
Yeah.
Those same,
look who's laughing now.
Yeah, well, those same people have come back and now they're clients.
Yeah.
So we don't hold grudges.
Yeah,
we may point it out, but we don't hold grudges.
But this is what's amazing is that you, like, it's kind of the opposite, because your business model is fully based on protecting the landlords in case the tenants default.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
But also
rental protection.
Rental protection. That's the whole main business model, which is great to be. Anyone that has property here in Dubai should come to this guy. And also the tenants too. They should also come to you because you also facilitate things to them.
The benefit of our product is that it's a complete win for everyone in the ecosystem, whether they be landlords, tenants, agents, or even the regulators and government.
Yeah.
We solve a pain point for them all. So
and I'm going to get now to the numbers of your business because I was so impressed. But yeah, the reason why I was saying it's like you're doing 2 polar opposites, because you're protecting the landlords from all the defaults that are happening, but also at the same time, you know that, and you are warning that the tenants will default at some point. So it's like you're giving 2 complete, I'm not going to say opposite truth, but like you're on both sides, because you're also saying, okay, listen, there's going to be a lot of defaults and tenants are not going to be able to pay because a lot of them are going to get laid off. But you're also providing protection for landlords against tenants.
Correct.
So it's like, how are you balancing such opposite dynamics?
Because the protection covers both. The landlord is our customer. So we don't dissipate the rights of the landlord.
Yeah.
That's something we would never want to do. We want them to have still the same rights that they do have. But it really is for no fault of their own. When we did see the 3 rental default spikes before, being financial crisis, oil price, COVID, it wasn't the fault of the tenant. It was just life.
Yeah.
And life happens, right?
Right.
So if we can protect them against those unforeseen, unfortunate circumstances on both sides, and it affects both parties.
Yeah.
And this was the thing that I found most intriguing, is that when right now in the market, if this situation happens, a tenant loses their job, they don't have the communication with the landlord that they should have. They don't feel like they have that communication there because they almost just flee to the airport straight away. And we saw the videos of all the cars and everything left at the airport.
2008.
We want to be able to stop that and say, hey, no pressure. You've protected. Let's have a conversation between the landlord and the tenant.
Yeah.
And make it amicable.
So how do you protect them?
So
what is the mechanism that people are curious about? Like how do you do it?
So rental protection is available in every single mature rental market in the world. It's not a luxury. It's the core element of the market that allows trust and security in the market. Now, we are backed by some very large insurance companies, both local and international.
Okay.
The Takeem product itself is more than just the rental protection. This is actually one service that we provide to our customers, almost like Apple provides Apple Care to their customers.
Right.
So we don't just have the rental protection, we have emergency maintenance cover, we have digital payments.
Yeah.
We have a whole gamut of experiences within our application.
Yeah.
So this is just one element, but this seems to be the element that has taken the public interest.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because rental here is, you mentioned in one of your posts, and I read almost all of them, something very interesting. It's like Dubai is in 2025, but the rental market's still stuck in 1995.
Yes.
You wrote something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't changed.
Actually, I didn't write it. It was actually someone completely
But you reposted or you commented on it?
I reposted their post, which was saying that we were the hack for the rental system.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And it was her who said it was like using paper maps when you have Google Waze.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yes, and that's one of the reasons why we created Takeem, is because we live in a world where everything happens in seconds. We've been conditioned by the likes of Uber, Amazon, Deliveroo to expect and demand more from what we currently get out of the rental system. So why should renting take days when we expect everything to happen in seconds and minutes?
Yeah.
So the catchphrase of Takeem is, we want to make renting as easy as ordering a pizza.
Yeah.
It's that simple. From after you found your place on one of the portals, we do everything from there. What now takes 5 days, we do in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And do you have like any specific type of due diligence that you do? Like, are there any? Is there a specific criteria?
So we do an evaluation risk on the tenant, and due to our partners who have direct connections with Ministry of Labour, Ministry of Immigration, plus the UAE Central Bank, we're able to do those pre-qualification checks probably 400 times faster than anyone else.
Wow. Okay. If Dubai landlords knew what you knew about tenant job risks, what percentage would panic now immediately?
I don't think we're at panic stage yet.
Okay.
Right? I don't.
Let's say worry.
Worry. I would say, given that defaults have doubled since December and delays have quadrupled since December, they should really, really start looking at getting protected, because it's a 6-year cycle. 2008, 2014, 2020, 6 years in between every single one of them, and 2020 to 2026 is next. And all the charts are showing that. So we're expecting that to increase substantially within the next 6 months. And we're already seeing the data in the market showing demand is dropping off for long-term rental. So and that's mostly from job loss and affordability issues. So I would say 35 to 40%.
Wow.
Yeah. Not default rates, but that's landlords should start thinking about getting protected.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
That's still a lot. I mean, that's a big volume, because we talk a lot about tenants, right? But then you also see the buying side. You see it, just transactions after transactions, volumes, things getting sold, so like in exponential numbers. This
is the thing about the real estate market. And I'm a macro guy.
Yeah.
You can't talk macro about the real estate market because it involves so many different industries and so many different segments. You have off-plan, you have construction, you have commercial, you have short-term renting, you have sales, secondary sales, and you have long-term renting.
Right.
At any single time, any of them can be on a different wet part of the curve, whether it's booming, correction, crash, or whatever. If we're talking about one thing, and our focus is mostly long-term rental, but that does mean we look at secondary as well, we can see it's a very different market to off-plan sales. And with the amazing relocation incentives that Dubai government has done for off-plan sales, there's a reason why that side of the market is booming, but the other side of the market isn't booming.
Well, one would argue that, the plan is to double the population by 2040. And if you look at the last, for example, 15 years, they did manage to double the population. So one would argue that, obviously these people, when they come, they want to have a place to stay, and that all the property that is now coming to the market is being absorbed, whether it's in purchased or being rented. What do you think of that argument? Because obviously they need stock.
Since 2020, the population has grown 17%. It's roughly around 4.5% to 5% a year, which is exceptional in any world economy.
Yes.
However, to absorb the supply, and you've got to remember, 80% of the market is investment, 20% is end user. Then you have to break down the population that's coming here versus blue collar workers who are either in work accommodation or co-sharing or co-living. Then you have the next segment, which is complete rentals. Then you have the segment above that, which is mostly rentals, and then a little bit of end user, and then the top end, which is end user. So break it down into those demographics of what Dubai is. We would need a population increase every year with the amount of supply coming into the market by 2028. And I don't talk about delays or anything like that because yes, delays will happen, but I talk eventually the supply is going to come to the market, right? At some point, the supply will hit the market.
Obviously.
The population, what does the population have to be? We would have to grow at 11% every year to be able to absorb the supply. So I can't see that happening. Yeah. We're still going to grow exponentially and exceptionally.
But you'll need more than double.
We'll need more than what the current population growth is to be able to absorb the market in the next 3 to 5 years, to absorb the supply that's coming to the market.
Is that why you think most real estate developers are rushing into building and getting things up and running or delivered before 2028?
I don't know if they could get it delivered before 28. They would have already had to start the plans and the process well before then, right? Yeah.
Because if you notice, most handovers, like let's say mid-rise or communities like low-rise communities, a lot of them want to hand over before 2028 if you look at the general trend.
Imagine they are. So they're clearing that off their books to them to be able to start new projects with the revenue they've generated from those previous constructions. Yeah. And while the debt market, the private capital market is really good right now. I think I saw a report on Bloomberg today that the debt in the private markets, the sukuks, the bonds from the local developers is up to 6 billion this year. I think it's a 300% increase on last year.
Wow. That is insane.
Yeah.
So we would definitely expect a rental correction, let's say, at least.
So a correction in technical terms is anything more than a 10% downturn. A crash is anything more than 20%. So in technical terms, yes, it could be a correction. But I honestly think it's just going to be a market realignment. We've had 4 years of hyper growth.
Yes.
We're going to face the consequences of what happens when you have 4 years of hyper growth.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so interesting but crazy at the same time, because I was talking to some really high profile people, and one of them was actually the personal advisor of one of the largest real estate developers here. And he tells me that it's such a buyer's market, it's such a seller's market right now, that some investors are just putting any number on lands that are being sold, not realizing that they're going to hit the wall at some point, because the price of land is so inflated that it makes absolutely no sense to buy it at that price. And that's because there is no way the market is going to continue the way that it's going to continue now. So what are you going to do when, like you said, when the market realigns? You have this asset that you bought at this price, and you can only afford to sell it or rent it at this price, but now it's at this price.
Yes, that's going to be the issue, and that's when the yields come into effect, right? Right now we're about 6.5% yields. We're seeing a lot of properties now struggle to get 5% net.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And we have family offices that have literally told us they're sitting in cash right now. They're not doing anything in the market. They're just getting cash piles together. They plan to come back into the market on any downturn. That they expect yields to be below interest rates in the next 3 years.
Wow. So is that why you said hope isn't a risk strategy?
Hope is never a risk strategy. Do your risk management. Do your research for yourself. Look at the market. Yeah. And then make your decisions based on that. As I said, I never...
Or come to you.
Or come to us, but just to protect it. So when I was in the financial market, we used to have traders who would talk about what we call a Wonka trade.
Yeah.
A Wonka trade is from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the golden ticket. In 25 years, my Goldman Sachs trader told me that he's only ever had two investment strategies. You either mitigate risk or you maximize return. In 25 years, only twice has he done a trade where he's had both sides of the coin, mitigating his risk at the same time as maximizing his return.
Yeah.
And that's what Takeem is, basically. We allow you to mitigate your risk, but at the same time, maximize your return. And it's the idiosyncrasy of the market here.
Yeah.
Because this product is widely available in the rest of the world, but the rest of the world has monthly rentals, monthly rental payments.
Yeah.
Here, we've been more accustomed to one payment or four payment being the most common two forms of payments. So the fact that we give the landlord the ability and the confidence and the security to know that his rent is guaranteed, that then he can go and offer monthly payments, that then helps the tenant with affordability. And it means the tenant doesn't have to take a loan or debt to be able to make that switch from one check or four checks to monthly.
I'm surprised. How do the people not come to you for advice, like proper corporate advice on their business planning? Like it's shocking that the people just don't really listen to some of the things that you say. Because is it because it's not cool? It's not following the narrative? Because that's what you keep mentioning in your post. You're like, stop following the narrative. Look at data.
Yeah. So the narrative doesn't equate to the data. Data. I don't know how to say it, American or English. If you look at the actual data, the narrative is very different.
Are they opposites?
Yes.
Almost.
They're almost opposites. But we have a massive machine here where real estate is a massive marketing tool and spend. And by focusing on one part of the market, again, I go back into you can't talk about the whole market as a real estate market because there's so many different segments in it. Yes, off-plan is absolutely booming. And that's where you see all the marketing spend. That's why they talk about how great Dubai is going on that side of things. But then we have to talk about affordability, right? Affordability of the people who are living here, the 80% of people who are tenants. Affordability for them is not so great anymore. We've had the dirham drop 10% due to our link with the dollar. So that has added to inflationary measures, which means the cost of living here has got automatically 10% more expensive.
Yes.
We've seen wage growth stagnate or even decline in most cases.
Yes.
So that's added to the cost of living.
Yes.
So it's not just job loss, which we have models to predict. It's also cost of living. We've seen record amounts of non-renewals and early terminations. That's another thing that we follow. So we can see the market is coming to that realignment stage. Now, a realignment can either happen fast and quick, or it can happen smooth and graceful, right? We want it to be smooth and graceful. We don't want it to be fast and hard.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. And we want to have tools in the market to protect people. If it doesn't matter whether it's hard and fast or smooth. We want to have those tools in the market to be able to protect both landlords and tenants, to protect agents so they don't get in the middle of any disputes. Because agents are the ones whose reputation is at risk. They find the tenant for the landlord. So who's the landlord going to blame when a tenant defaults? They'll blame the agent. So we're saving that reputational risk for the agent as well.
Yeah. So let's take this scenario. I'm an investor. Like you said, most property buyers here are investors, right?
Yes.
I'm an investor. I buy a unit hoping that I would rent it. The market realigns. What are my options?
So your options are, number one, it's going to be a very, very competitive market, right? As a landlord.
Right.
There's going to be, not only going to have lower demand, you're also going to have more supply coming to the market.
True.
So it's going to get very, very competitive for landlords to find tenants. How are they going to find those tenants? Well, number one, great property management, right? And that's the first thing. If you have a great property manager, or you are, as a landlord, you are a great property manager, that's going to make a difference. The second thing may be having tech tools in place to make it as easier and as efficient for both sides, both the landlord and the tenant.
Okay.
The third thing is you're going to have to offer better payment plans for rent, right? Now, we are one solution for that. We didn't build our product to be that solution. That's just how landlords decided they were going to use our product.
Right.
It was an eye-opener for us. But there are other solutions in the market as well. Some of them do involve debt, which I don't recommend because we're already facing a cost of living. Why would you want to go into more debt if you didn't have to?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we sit on that. It's going to get very competitive. You're probably not going to see the yields that you've been seeing for the last few years, but you should have a long-term view, right? And that long-term view should be, yes, we may go through a downturn, but then we're going to go up into another upturn.
Yeah.
Right?
Me and you have been talking a lot about long-term, and that's what we talk usually also when we see each other. But what about short-term? This is the one thing that I would say people aren't exploring as much. Short-term Airbnbs, holiday homes and stuff. What do you think about that? What do you think about that particular market and how it's going to react with the current real estate situation?
So we talk with a lot of short-term operators. They seem to be doing incredibly well.
Why is that?
Tourism. So here is the thing. People complain about the traffic in Dubai and they think it's because of the population explosion.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Really?
Yes.
Guys, listen to this.
So there was a report just released that for every one resident in Dubai, there are 5 tourists.
You're joking.
Right?
No, seriously?
Yes.
Man, where'd you get this data? You are unbelievable.
I'm a data nerd. What can I say?
Yeah, it's
right?
unreal. So wait, say that again. For
every one resident, there are 5 tourists. And we're coming into peak tourism season right now.
Of course,
right?
Yes.
If you look at the RTA data on the extra vehicle licenses, everyone's complaining about traffic. The majority of the cars being licensed are actual commercial vehicles. More Ubers, more buses, more workers' vehicles.
Wow.
Everything like that. So yes, traffic is bad, but it's not because of residents. It's because Dubai's tourism industry is so massive and
it's booming.
So drawing people in. I mean, Dubai is where people want to be.
Yeah.
So
it's insane.
It is actually insane. I mean, it's the
center of the world.
Yeah, center of the world right now.
It's center of the world, and I'll tell you why. I was at Dubai Watch Week yesterday, so people were saying and talking about a number close to 45,000 visitors in less than 1 week.
Yeah,
45,000 unique visitors to Dubai Watch Week. You're talking like just ultra high net worth people just for a watch event.
A lot of them probably would have flown in for the event. Then you have the companies who are flying their staff in for the event.
No, that's not even. No,
that's not even staff. That's just pure visitors.
That's just pure visitors. That's just pure visitors.
Wow. Yeah.
45,000 people. Imagine in a watch exhibition. So you're talking about something that's so niche, and it's reserved for a specific part of society, and you still get 45,000 people in less than a week.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And that actually is a great segue or a great indicator on the world economy right now, where we've actually, since COVID, we've created a K-shaped economy where the people with assets, with money are doing incredibly well. They don't see anything wrong with the economy right now.
Yeah.
Whereas the other side of it is the more mid to low middle class that are really struggling. They're struggling with affordability because everything's getting more expensive, but they're not seeing any increase in their wage.
Yeah.
They're not seeing any increase in their assets because they don't own assets.
Right. So is AI the real villain in this case?
No, it's not. We had a lot of inflationary things happen from COVID, from quantitative easing, easy money in the market.
Right.
And that whenever that happens it's always stocks, bonds, real estate, crypto. It's all those types of assets that increase dramatically, but you have to be of a certain caliber to be able to buy those in the first place.
Right.
And the people who can't afford to even get on that step, they're the ones that are really struggling. So it's not AI. AI is going to accentuate it because of the job losses that it's going to happen. When we saw what happened with the Industrial Revolution, it's kind of the same, but the Industrial Revolution took away manual labor, right? Machines basically could do now what manual labor used to do. Now what we're doing is with AI, we're taking away people's thoughts, experiences, and mental capability and replacing that. Now, there's going to be a massive time period where people are going to need to reskill. For the Industrial Revolution, it was 40 to 50 years. I think this time it won't be as long, but it's still going to be an extended period before people are able, reskilled, to be able to enter back into the workforce with a position that actually may be consummate to what they were getting before.
Is that why you said employment stability is a fairy tale?
Yes. Employment stability is a fairy tale because what we're seeing in the global economy right now, and even in Dubai now, it's those constant layoffs. They may not be big. We're going to lay off 2,000 plus 15,000. Yeah. It's just small layoffs throughout the year, compounding, and that's why it's almost what we call the constant layoff experience.
Yeah. So since me and you we enjoy talking about macro stuff. I wouldn't say default, but let's say this rental market correction, is it going to be a world class thing, or is it just going to be specifically more affected in Dubai? Because what I'm trying to understand is the whole world going through the same thing?
No, because there is already supply in the rest of the world. They've already gone through it to a certain extent. Rental prices have increased across the board pretty much in every country. They're starting to come back now in the last two years. But during COVID, rental prices went up, right? Yeah. After going down first, then they skyrocketed. The thing about rental market is that there's a term called guppies or generation rent. Now, guppies is short for given up on property investment, right? It's the 2.1 billion people who will never own their own home. They're going to be trapped in an outdated rental cycle for their lives. Then they'll never own their own home. And that's just the generation we're facing. And the market, the technology, the regulators, everyone in the world isn't ready for that yet. There's a reason why private equity, especially in the US, is buying up all the family use houses, because they know what's coming and they want to be in control of that.
And so what does one do in that case? If you're a person in your 20s right now, or you're just getting a start at life, what would you do?
Cry.
No, really, because it's becoming very unaffordable to own property. Let's be realistic. Yeah. I mean, Rakesh, you've seen the prices in Australia, in Canada. I'll tell you, for example, in Vancouver, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. You don't even have the 5% for the advance payment. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
And Dubai is kind of following suit.
It is. It's not affordable. I mean, there's some great initiatives now from the government with the first home buyers initiative, but the amount you need to come up with the deposit and then the fees on top of that, it makes it really restrictive. So I did a calculation that of all long-term renters, only about 8% of them could afford to move to buying their own ready-made property. They could go off-plan and get the payment plans there. But then where are they going to live? They're going to be paying rent and the off-plan payment plan at the same time.
Yeah, unless it's something like you said, it could readily moving. They could readily move in.
Yeah,
too.
Readily move into. They have to be able to go from renting to a ready property. With all this extra supply, we're hoping that will compress prices a little bit, make it a little bit more affordable. But it's still 20% you have to come up with, and then you have the 6% fees, being the government fees, the agent, and so forth on top of that. So you have to have that money saved up before buying the property.
So instead of crying, should I just wait as a 20-year-old or 30-year-old per guy that's just starting for the prices to realign in 2028?
Yeah, you could wait for that, but then why are prices realigning? Is it just supply, or is it because we're having a macro event, a black sheep event, where a lot of people are getting unemployed? Right, 20% unemployment, that's a recession. We've dealt with that before. What happens when we get up to 40% unemployment? Because AIs can do all the jobs that mental labor is doing right now.
It's really scary.
It's a crux for social change.
And I think we're going to be facing the biggest transfer of wealth in modern human history.
Yeah, we are.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's just going to be such a big gap.
But it is being transferred, but it's being transferred to a very, very small percentage of the population.
Yeah.
The wealth gap is increasing every year, and it's just going to get worse and worse. The more interest rates come down, the more assets will appreciate. And that then the K-shaped economy just keeps on getting wider and wider apart.
But when things happen like that, and you as a person that loves data and analytics, don't you feel like it will open up doors for other markets, for example, tokenization
Yeah.
or
100%. Whether it's a boom market, crash, recession, whatever, there's always opportunities.
right.
And there's always opportunities for people with their eyes open enough to be able to see it. With
Yeah.
AI, it has never been easier to start a company, especially a tech company, than it
Yeah.
is now with what we can do with AI.
Right.
But as you would know, as I know, starting a company is not easy. You have to have a certain fortitude.
It's
You have to have a
hardest
certain
thing,
personality to be able to do it. A lot of people don't have that.
Yes.
But there will be those who are ambitious, who are driven, who see the value in the tools, and they are able to create. They will create new opportunities. There will always be new opportunities, right? It's just identifying those opportunities.
Yeah. So what's your take on tokenization then, and how it could, transcend into the rental market or even the real estate market as a whole?
I actually haven't thought about how tokenization will move into the rental market because we protect a lot of tokenization, fractionalized companies because they want to protect their investors.
Right.
Right. So they buy our guarantee to be able to protect their investors.
Yeah.
So that they know that their rent is secure.
Yeah.
Right. Therefore, their
But then
investment is secure.
someone, now I'm just thinking out loud with you, could take that rental contract as a product and tokenize it
They could. Yeah.
because it's
Yep.
backed by an insurance company,
Yep.
right? So that's a good business model.
Yeah. I mean, tokenization has opened ownership up to so many different people.
yeah.
For such a low amount of money. But it's an investment. You're not tokenizing to move into your own house, right? Unless you want to live with 50 other people
Yeah,
who have
yeah.
also got the tokenized asset. Then it's just a frat house,
Yeah.
right?
But
Going
you're
back to my
reducing the barriers to entry to a market that's
100%.
Stable.
And
or-
nowhere has done it as effectively as Dubai.
Yeah.
They already previously tried before to do
Yeah.
tokenization in the US, Europe.
Yeah.
It just didn't catch on. Dubai's shown the world how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that is one thing that Dubai is incredibly amazing at doing.
Yeah.
And especially at government organizations like DLD, like Dubai Chambers, who are so forthright in advancing technology and supporting people who are doing it as well. Yeah, even His Highness Sheikh Hamdan has supported us the whole time. And by him knowing how much we're looking at changing the rental market for the better.
Yeah, that's amazing. So when you talk about forever layoffs,
Yes.
as you call them, why the evil word forever?
Just because it's constantly happening. It's 50 people here, 20 people next month, 10.
And you just
20.
think it's just...
It just keeps on going. As they
perpetual? Do you think it's...
No. I mean, there's going to be a point where it stops because there's not going to be any more employees left, right?
Right.
There'll be 5 guys running AI agents
Yeah.
doing the whole thing that 200 people used to do.
Yeah.
So those 5 people will have jobs.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going to have to find new ways of employment or become entrepreneurs themselves.
That's really crazy if you think about it.
But how are those people going to pay rent,
Yeah.
right? How are landlords going to find tenants and be secure in tenants paying rent?
Yeah.
They need some form of rental protection, both from the tenant side and the landlord side and the agent side.
Well, speaking about rental protection, let's say Taqim didn't exist. What's the value of rental contracts that would be in trouble right now? In other words, how much is the value of the rental contracts that you have protected so far?
So we have onboarded 50,000 units, which is about
50,000
in
units.
7 months, 50,000 units, which is about $1.1 billion worth of annual rent. We've onboarded them to our platform. So they have the ability to take the rent protection. Landlords see the benefit of it. Tenants see the benefit of it. So that side of it's great. But if we look at we're under strict NDAs on what we can say and what we can't say about the default rates.
Okay.
Just because of how we collect our data.
Right.
So I would say, given that the total value of the market is 32 billion in rental payments a year in Dubai alone, if we look at the fact that one of the RDC judges stated on radio that there was 45,000 cases in the RDC in Q2 alone, and the majority of them, the biggest majority of them was for non-payment of rent. I think we're looking at least right now maybe 4 to 5% of that 32 billion.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Just with you guys.
No. That's total defaults in the market.
No, I mean, 4 or 5% that you were able to, this 1 billion is
It's not. Right now, with those 50,000, that's about 10% of the market.
10%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And people really underestimate the defaults here.
They do. And when they have the experience of the defaults and they have to go through the RDC process, and the RDC has done a great job on trying to streamline the efforts. It's completely digital.
Yeah.
Right? You go online, the case is online with a judge. They've added 15 more judges to handle the workload. So they've done a great job. But what we want to do, we believe prevention is better than litigation.
Yeah, of course.
We want to prevent it happening. We want to help the RDC by them not having to handle so many cases.
Exactly, because it's ugly.
Yeah. So to put it in perspective, let's say you're my landlord, I'm the tenant, and I've lost my job. I don't even need to have defaulted yet. My check may be coming out next month. But I say to you, we know we've got the rent protection there. Say, listen, I've lost my job. You'll be like, okay, this is why we have the rental protection. Let's get your termination letter. I will give you my termination letter. You will give that to King. Within 7 days, our insurance partners are paying you that month's rent on my behalf.
Right.
So it protects me because I'm the tenant. I know I don't have that stress and that worry. It protects you as a landlord because you know you're going to get that month's payment. So it just means that you don't actually have to go to the RDC, right? You could say to me, if we have a good relationship, you could say to me, and this is what's happened in our situations, is that, okay, we know we're getting so we cover between 4 and 6 months rent, depending on the reason of default. I'm getting the rent for 4 months. You've got 4 months to find a new job, right? We know that it's covered. This is the reason why we bought the product in the first place, right? To protect us from this.
I'm going to take it a step further. I actually never asked you about this. Does your product cover also maybe people that have taken on loans? And maybe, for example, let's say they've taken on mortgages, right? And they're out of a job for whatever, for the time being.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any...
I can't comment on that.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I actually really wanted to know that. I actually thought about it just now. And I'm like, that would be very interesting.
We thought about that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we never actually had that discussion, me and you. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how come I never asked him about that?
Yeah. It's we have a lot of features right now. We have a lot of features coming to the market.
Okay. That's good. So I'll try to pick your brain later about this. Okay.
We want everyone in the market to be protected.
Yeah.
Whether they're tenants, landlords, banks, agents.
Yeah. Good stuff. So what's the one rental market truth that the real estate industry refuses to look in the eye and face?
The slowing demand.
People really don't want to face this.
They're all focused on the supply that's coming to the market. But the near-term, short-term facts are we're seeing
demand.
We're seeing shrinking demand on both secondary and long-term rental markets. Non-renewals are much higher than dropping. Sorry, the decrease in non-renewals is much higher than anything we've seen before.
In the last how many years?
Well, since COVID. Now, we always compare 2025 with year on year.
Yeah.
2024 was a boom year, right? To be able to keep that going, very, very difficult.
It's unrealistic.
And that's why when we talk about drops in percentage year on year, it's because we're comparing it to 2024, which was a boom year. And that's what people have to take into context.
So you have to look at the average of the last 5 years.
Last 5 years. And we're seeing, if we looked at an average over the last 5 years, that's why we call it a realignment right now. Because we're kind of on the curve coming down. It's what happens now on this downturn. Is it going to be fast and hard or smooth?
Slow. Yeah, like you said. So, and what's the one delusion that you keep hearing here that just makes you laugh?
The market is just going to go up. The market can only go up. I always get that song Yaz, the 1980s. It's literally, I think every real estate agent is just pumping that full bore all the time. And they've got a job to do. They've got a product to sell.
We should give out Ray Dalio's book for free.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll understand a thing or two because it's impossible. No market ever goes up perpetually like that.
So I've seen 3 crashes in the real estate market since I've been here in the last 18 years. I've lived here for 27, but in the last 18, we've had 3. it doesn't seem like people remember. The family offices, they definitely remember.
Of course.
The long-term people here definitely remember. But we've had such a change and
And
rotation
demographics.
and demographics of people living here that people haven't seen it. So you can't explain to someone until they've lived it.
Right. No matter how much you...
No matter how much you do. And especially if all they've seen is the only way is up.
Yeah, yeah.
I speak to a lot of real estate agents. They say they make more money in a downturn than they do on a good market. And a lot of them are looking forward to that change coming because they think that will clear up the market for their profession.
It's true because it is an accurate thing to say because it just filters out all of the fluff that's in the market.
And we've seen a 2.5x increase in the amount of agents in the market.
Yes.
So in 2022, I think we were at 13,000. Now we're at 36,000.
Yes. Yeah. We're close to, I think someone said that close to 40.
Close to 40. That's licensed agents.
Yeah, that's a lot. And if I'm going to do like a quick rapid fire questions.
Sure.
But just to make it very clear, I'm going to have a lot of sessions with you because there's
always
just,
more. We've got
this is not enough because for me, like you writing on LinkedIn is not enough. Like I have to sit and like listen to you because this is music to my ears and it should be music to a lot of people's ears because people just refuse to open and read.
Yes.
Unfortunately, someone has to like.
I don't know if that we are so inundated with information now from so many different sources, and that's why our attention spans are so different. It's really hard to decipher what's the information that you should be listening to, right?
But
because we get bombarded by so much information. So I think that, and especially when we're not glossy marketers, we don't do any marketing other than my LinkedIn.
I could be your marketing channel right now because I love this guy. He's the smartest, most accurate guy I know in real estate. So if anybody wants to know where the market's going, he is the guy.
On certain elements of the market. I couldn't tell you about off-plan. I couldn't tell you about construction. I couldn't tell you about commercial.
But like what I will always say, demand and rent is the single most important, let's say, driver of real estate.
It is. Because
ever.
That's where the yields come from. That's where the investment comes from. That leads to construction. And especially
I've been in this business long enough to tell you every single client that I built for always looks at rent.
Yes.
That's all they care about. They don't even look at, obviously, selling off plan and all that. That goes without saying. But we're talking about people that actually want to put their units in the market. They just care about where the rent is going to go.
Yeah.
And that's the single most important thing for them. All right. So AI, threat or opportunity for landlords?
Mostly threat, little bit of opportunity.
Okay. Supply or demand? Which one is the real villain?
Right now, demand until late 2026, early 2027, when we have the supply tsunami hit the market. So I say, if supply is dropping, if an increase in supply is dropping the prices, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If a lower demand is dropping the prices, that's a bad thing.
Okay.
When you have demand and lower demand meets increased supply, it's time to listen to your mother and carry a clean pair of underwear.
Okay. Most dangerous tenant in the industry right now. I like how you took a deep breath.
Yeah, it's HR and recruitment.
Ooh.
Yeah. The people who used to do the firing are the ones getting fired the most.
Sorry, guys. You heard it here. One chart you would show a panicking landlord.
The cycles. What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up.
There you go.
Yeah.
One chart you'd show an overly optimistic investor.
The cycles again and where we are on the cycle.
Okay.
Plus the current figures today.
Okay. What's worse, a vacancy or a default?
A default.
Okay.
Yeah. And a vacancy, you will lose 8% a month if it's vacant for how many months. A default is a lot more than that in one foul go, and your property still won't be renting.
2026 rental market in one word. Wait, first give me 2025 and then give me 2026. One word for each year.
2025, we will end the year with 2 negative quarters, therefore a technical recession. 2026, that will continue, but because we're going to then compare it to 2025, the first 2 quarters will be recessionary and contractory. The second 2 will probably be flatlined. Exciting.
Wow. Tenants today, more stressed or more unstable?
More stressed. A lot more stressed.
Yeah, I agree. Your most accurate prediction so far?
Everything from the type of job loss we'll experience being white collar, mid to low, and the drop in demand.
Most ignored risk in Dubai real estate?
Not getting your rent protected, thinking your tenant won't default. I mean, we literally just saw Petrofac layoff 200.
80, sorry, they lost 80%.
They lost
of their
80%
revenue.
of their revenue, so they had to lay off 200 people overnight, immediately. They don't know what's going to happen with their end of service benefits. So those landlords now have 200 tenants that can't pay rent.
Taqim in one sentence.
Mitigate of risk, maximize rent.
The rental trend nobody sees coming.
I'm going to say the rise of co-living.
The most delusional narrative in the market right now.
The only way is up.
The spiciest rental market take.
Recessionary leading to a correction.
One thing that will shock landlords in 2026.
How much it costs you when your tenant defaults. So on 100,000 dirham rent right now, you're looking at about 53,000 lost in defaults.
Landlord or tenant, who's more in danger?
Both. Tenants from the jobs, landlords from tenants losing jobs.
Okay. Well, that ends our podcast. I could talk to you for hours, but
we could do part 1, part 2.
Oh no,
part
we're gonna
3.
do part like 100.
So this is Star Wars: A New Hope.
This was just a pilot. This is gonna be like a weekly thing. I promise you, and I'm not joking, because this is really the most valuable podcast, honestly, I have ever done in terms of real estate. It's so informative, and you guys are doing amazing work.
Thank you very much.
Specifically, you are an outstanding individual in the market, in the real estate market, because of the things that you write and
we don't even consider ourselves in the real estate market. We consider ourselves in the tech market. So
yeah, but that's the thing. Now there's the biggest crossover
path. For sure.
Yeah. But thank you so much
for
coming.
My pleasure.
Appreciate
As
it.
I said, this is like Star Wars Episode 1, A New Hope. Then we'll move to get even darker when Empire Strikes Back.
Exactly. Imagine the episode that we're gonna have once these things do happen, and we're like, go back 6 months ago.
Exactly.